from MV Ranch. I'm Mary, and this is my
Mike.
better half. And we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about our house build and some of the things that have been going on in the past week or so. The first thing we did was have someone come and look at our well. There was a well on the existing site, and it was what is known as a soft well, and it is not. It's not going to work.
It's the old casing. The casing is old, and he said by the time you do what all you got to do to this, he said you'd have more money invested in it than you would have been probably better off health-wise, as well as other things that to do a new well. So that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
We're going to have this one fixed as far as decommission.
Yeah, we wanted to be satisfied with it, so this would be the better bet and get it fixed permanent. So, and then we also talked to someone that we want to build our house, and I think we're going to be pretty satisfied with who we chose. And we're going to build a 2-bedroom, 2-bath home. And it's going to have a front porch and a back porch. It's going to be open concept, and the living room and the kitchen and the dining area are all going to be open with a vaulted ceiling. So we're going to have pretty good views looking out the front.
It's an expensive pen.
I never can find my pen. He knows where to find it. And we'll also have views of the creek looking out the back. So that was the main thing that we wanted when we thought about building.
Actually, these trees here behind us, much as I hate to take out trees, we're going to have to take out 5 of them. They're all hackberries.
Yeah.
But, you hate to take that good shade that's already there, but for it to fit right with where the shed is, the old corn crib, the corral area and everything, it's going to be better for us to scoot the house back a little further, which puts us in a little bit better shape for seeing the backyard. It's basically be going like this from the house.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, and we kind of figured out our septic system, how we want that to work.
Hold the poop.
It always seems to end up back
Everything
at poop.
revolves around poop.
I don't understand.
And
when
it's
you
just
get old,
people, you know.
I feel like a Phillips and Magnesia commercial or something. But anyway, and then on the other side, we're going to be having the well dug. So the well will be on one side of the hill, and the septic will be on the other side of the hill. So run.
They both go this way.
Never the two shall meet. So we are basically sitting just behind this gate is where the house is going to be at. So, and
a little further that direction maybe,
yeah,
but not by a whole lot.
So we'll be right beside the old house place, and I liked the one that we chose to build the house. Y'all are probably never going to see him because not going to want to be filmed, and that's okay. We'll show you the progress along the way. But I liked it that he understood that we couldn't rebuild the old house. It just was not feasible. It was not in our budget to do so, and that we're building a new home and we're moving forward. It's what my grandmother would call progress.
He did give us a couple of ideas on how to save some expenses and whatnot. And we've got the way our floor plan's laid out. We have most of the water on one end of the house and the master is on the opposite side of the house. And we had the hot water heater in one corner, and the opposite direction was the master suite, and there's going to be a long ways to run the water. And he gave us a couple of good ideas how to fix that problem by having 2 hot water heaters. And he said you'll probably be happier with it in the long run. So, which that's good. You know, I don't want to have to wait 15, 20 minutes for the water to get there and then not last as long. So that's fine.
Well, we also decided that we want to be all electric and have a generator for a backup, because in this area, um, the electricity is going to go out. It's not if, it's when. Because it just does out here, and it takes a
Every
while.
time the wind blows a limb on the line somewhere, and you're out.
It takes a while to get your electricity back, so we do need something. And to describe the house, the roof is going to be Galvaloon, so it'll be silver like the old house roof was. It's going to be Hardyback siding, white, horizontal. The walls, those are the walls, and we want to do zip sheeting if possible, because we want our house to be airtight. That was one of his big issues that he wanted.
Yeah, and I'd like to do the Zip R3, which has insulation adhered to it, so it's just that much more protection.
And I like that he, on the roof, that we wanted to protect the windows all the way around, and so the overhang will be 2 foot instead of the 12 inches or whatever they normally do. And the floor we're going to do on a slab, but it's going to be raised so that it's he said 1 block, so that's just the standard, the way that he does it. We kind of like that. Didn't want it to be on the ground. We're going to have to get the ground leveled and the trees taken before he gets here. We are about a year out from the start of the build. And then we will have our well dug in about 8 months. So those are the 2 things that we know we're going to have done later on, but we've got some things we can do before then.
I know this may sound weird to think about building a house and me sitting here in camera, and I just noticed, you know, I'm not that broke that I can't get new glasses. I just hadn't got them, just so you know.
Yeah, he's doing the Urkel. His lens completely fell out, so we're waiting for the...
I'd ordered new lenses because I'm getting old and blind. And by the time the lenses come in, I broke the frames, which the frames were older. So I had to order new frames, so now we're waiting on frames.
His glasses said, "You're retired, you don't need those."
Yeah. I can find my way.
Okay, so anyway, on the floor, concrete slab, laminate flooring, except for possibly tile in one of the bathrooms.
Yeah.
And someplace else we're going to have different flooring. Besides the bathroom.
Mainly that one
shower.
Bathroom.
The master shower.
The master shower is concrete floor because it's a walk-in shower.
Well, everything's going to be wheelchair accessible. Yeah, well, I kind of learned that with my knee thing.
Prepared for it, so to speak. Everything's not necessarily wheelchair per se, but at least have all the doorways wide enough that we can get my fat butt in there, or it may be a wheelchair if my fat butt won't work no more. So I don't know. It's not about poop. It's just my butt.
It's always something. All right, in the windows, we wanted, he does double hung. I'm going to do a sliding one in the kitchen. It's going to be over the sink. And mentioned a window company. I'm not really sure. I hadn't ever heard of it, so I'm going to have to research. I'm going to do white, since the Hardyback siding is going to be white.
It's going to be a basic house. I mean,
yeah.
Really, we're looking at living square footage, just a fraction over 1,500 square feet. 2-bedroom, 2-bath. That's all we need. We got a bedroom for somebody who ever wants to come to visit us.
Straight line roof,
So
no pitches.
Nothing fancy. Just poor man's house, I guess. Poor man rich.
It's going to be a
build
nice
house.
home.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
And it's going to be built to last. So.
Our main objectives, what we both wanted, was porches. We wanted big porches. So we're going to have a 10-foot porch. I know, you can get bigger with them. But 10 foot's pretty good average size porch. Anything smaller, because our house we had at Fairfax, not Virginia, the street, it was just like 6 foot wide. I mean, you had enough for your chair and nobody'd walk by.
Yeah, and we hardly ever sat out there.
No, we didn't, because it wasn't very enjoyable.
Well, here we can just sit out on the porch and wave at everybody that goes by.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, thank you for dusting us out. Appreciate it.
None of that. All right, so for the front door I kind of want to be special, and I want it to be stained in hickory, or it might be hickory. I don't know. I haven't found it yet. But I want it to match the baseboards and the trim and the kitchen cabinets, and the other cabinets are gonna. I want a hickory stain on them. That's the color I like. So that much we know.
Yeah, well, I need to tell them this too. When we decided we was gonna move over here, Mary said, "I don't care what we build, as long as you're happy with where we're at, and we got a porch." I said, "I'm for the porch." So she let me pretty much lay out the house design. I asked her thoughts and opinions about it, and we critiqued it, but for the most part, I got to lay the house out, and she's going to be the decorator and decorate the inside.
I have my ideas already.
Yeah, she does. But anyway, it was our compromise to start with. We'll see how this goes from
We're
here.
going to be okay.
So, yeah,
we're going to work together.
But, yeah. Everybody says it's a test on a marriage to build a house. I guess we're fixing to find out. But I think we're pretty much laid back and easy going between one another. And every once in a while, I have to straighten her out. But,
Well, anyway, the first company that we talked to together, and we talked to them 3 or 4 times, I never felt very comfortable with them. Always seemed to be overpriced, and we weren't going to get to make a lot of the decisions ourselves. Yeah. But with this one, I feel very comfortable, and also faith-based. So it makes me, I just feel so blessed. I'm counting my blessings today. That's even what my shirt said. So,
I mean, the conversation just, talking to him about the house, God was in just about every sentence, seems like. But
present.
That's the kind of person we like.
Yeah. Well, we also told him that, not only are we planning on building the house, we're going to concentrate on that, but we also have the foundation already for a shop, and I want to make sure that we do have that. And so the next step that we will do is talk to our banker and make sure that we have the finances where we want them to be, and get the money situated, which, as he said, that is our business. That's what we do. We're supposed to be the ones that take care of him, and we will. And it makes him really nervous. He couldn't
money.
Sleep.
Yeah, just a lot of it.
He couldn't sleep, but it's gonna be okay.
Very expensive ink pen.
Kubota, his Clementine.
That's what it's orange. So what else were you gonna name a tractor? Orange. How about Clementine? That's, it's orange related. So guess it could have been tangerine.
No, not do tangerine.
Clementines are sweet and itty bitty. Tractor's small tractor, but
kind of got teased for that, so because it wasn't the biggest.
Yeah, I get off on the subject on bird, squirrel, whatever it is.
He's Doug.
Yeah.
Doug the dog. Anyway, we're I can't get him to talk when we're just us. But when I
we
plug up the
decide we're
camera,
gonna have a video, she says we're gonna do a video, and I'm
oh, you
boy,
have to.
here we go, another
Like a little kid.
video. And then she says, once you get on there, you don't ever shut up. Well,
Am I wrong?
I'm
I'm
trying
wrong.
to get
Come on.
content here, so somebody's got to be the funny one. I mean, to listen to myself on the videos, I sound like a hick anyway, so I might as well be one.
We're from the South. It's just the way it is. We're just deal with it.
Just the way it is.
Just deal with it, man. So we're making some decisions, and we're moving ahead, and we're
slowly
looking
but
at
surely going to build a house.
Looking at ordering windows in January. Well, getting done in April. Working on the foundation in the meantime. Probably
trying to get her to retire.
I'm gonna do that. Probably gonna
May. That's when you go retire.
Talk to the electric company and figure out the electricity. I don't know exactly. I don't see how that's going to be a problem. We're really close to the road and the poles, but
I think I've been told that
I want to know.
You know, they will provide service up to 300 feet without any additional expense for us.
Well,
so I think we're well within that. So
we were all like freaking out because we didn't know how many apartments we're going to have and building codes, and so we're from the city, so you know that is a big deal where we came from.
City, that's a big town, but yeah.
Well, you know, it's bigger than here.
Yeah.
So now after kind of discussing it with our builder, we're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. We're like, we're taking our deep breath today.
Yeah.
And exhausted.
I didn't sleep at all last night. I worried about, meeting him and just the conversation and topic, and which is, I was all focused about doing the build, and him and Mary over here are talking about Bible verses and family history and stuff. What's with the gnats? They're not bothering you.
It's biting flies. They keep biting me.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, the conversation mostly was about historical family between the two of them, and which Mary likes that stuff.
We found out. He told me about the Huffstedlers.
See, here we go
today, and the two brothers, Joseph and Michael Huffstedler, and how many that Michael Huffstedler went the Christian route, and Joseph Huffstedler went with the Amish, but most of the families can be related back to those two brothers who were captured by the Indians, and they had to be released because of a treaty that was made, and that's where the lineage started, which I think is really cool because my sister married into that family, and look, this is what he does when I talk about history. He's so groovy. But anyway, I posted last night on my Facebook site about the Declaration of Independence, and after reading about it and seeing some of the videos, I didn't realize that 90% of Americans have not ever read the Declaration of Independence for themselves. So I decided last night to just sit down and really read it and study it for myself and understand it. And I had gone over the first part of it, the preamble, I could do by heart because that was a Schoolhouse Rock song. But the rest of it,
telling their age.
Anyway, the rest of it is it's so educational. Everybody, please read the Declaration of Independence and know that George Washington went after we have fought the American Revolution, and we gotten our freedom from the British. We had 13 colonies, and when they set about to make the laws for the land, the Article of the Confederation didn't go deep enough. It was every state was having to fend for themselves, and there were tariffs at every line. So you'd have to stop at the state line. We don't even have to stop now. But when the Declaration of Independence was written, George Washington told Thomas Jefferson that he was a better writer and that he should write it. Well, he and John Adams were the main writers of the Declaration of Independence, mainly Thomas Jefferson. And after they had written it, it was only signed by two people. It was signed by John Hancock and the secretary at that time, and it took them a month for the 56 delegates to arrive in Philadelphia in August, and that's when they all sat down and signed it, and John Hancock wrote his name really big so that King George III could read it without his glasses. He wanted him to see it. And them signing their names to that document was a huge deal because they knew it was going to change their life. They were putting their careers on their line, all of their money, their family, everything was on the line. And before the Constitution was written in 1787, they had an anniversary for it about 10 years later, 20 years, I can't remember which one, but on that first anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, there were only 3 of those men that had survived, and one of them, he was a bigger man, Harrison, had joked to another one that was really skinny. He said, well, when they hang me for this, I know that mine's going to be a short drop, but you're just going to swing forever. His torture was going to last. But the 3 that survived, 2 of those was Thomas Jefferson and John Adams. And what they didn't know was on July the 4th, Thomas Jefferson had passed away at about 1 in the afternoon. John Adams had not heard about it. He thought he was still alive and was grateful. And then he passed away on July the 4th, on the same day.
God.
Yeah. So it's just a little bit of history there for you. But
There's your history lesson for the day.
I think it's important that every American should be able to read our Declaration of Independence, especially now, because so much of it, they're talking about a tyrant that lived across the pond. Maybe our tyrants are not that far away from us anymore. Maybe we need to know. We need to know what our rights are. It's important. Not just me, but every American needs to know.
Yeah. Maybe Brandon needs to know too.
This makes him really nervous. Oh. But anyway.
We'll not get into the political aspects.
That's the word you're looking for.
Yeah, really. Maybe moving to Arkansas is probably good for me.
Hey, we are uptown.
Well,
I love Arkansas. I love Missouri, but I love Arkansas. It's always had
that's home for you.
Special place for me. Used to really claim Texas like that because that's where I was born, but
I was born in Michigan, but to listen to me talk, especially when I watch our own videos, you couldn't tell I lived in Michigan.
He thought he was going to go back where it was really cold.
Yeah, when I was a kid and we moved to Missouri, not Missouri, but Missouri, because it is proper Missouri, not Missouri. Anyway, when we moved here, I was like 9 years old. And it was hot, miserable, humid. I'd always came and visit with grandparents, but I told my mom and dad, I said, as soon as I turn 18, I'm moving back to Michigan. Now, This is home.
Yeah.
Just listen. Hear the cicadas? I don't hear those as much in Michigan as you do here. But
I don't know, maybe
it's
some
kind of
places.
peaceful. The only thing we can hear faintly other than the cicadas right now is boats running up and down the river. There's a lot of people on the river today. I guess they're trying to get their last hoorah in before school starts or something like that. But river's busy today.
Now, he still has family in Michigan. We love you guys.
Oh, yeah.
And we visited and we loved it. It was beautiful.
Yeah, I like going up there in the summertime. It's really nice. And I kind of like it probably like to go ride snowmobiles in the wintertime. But, you know,
That'd be cool.
I guess I'll stay here with pigs.
We're not stuck. We can move around.
I said stay here. I didn't say stuck here. I'm not stuck here. I'm in the natural state. Naturally loaded with ticks and mosquitoes.
It used to be the land of opportunity. Now we're in the natural state.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we enjoy talking to you guys, and we're just trying to make the videos so that we can remember what has happened and on what dates. So we know that in August of 2022, we're still waiting for the house to be built. It's going to be another year, and we are still making progress toward it. And just think though, man, back in...
You'll be out of school. We'll be together 24/7.
If you watch the introduction video, Introduction to MV Ranch, you will see exactly where we started at and how far we've come. And this right back here behind us, it did not look like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was... No.
The forestry mulching helped a whole lot, and keeping it mowed has helped quite a bit as well. Yeah, it looks a lot different.
Every little bit that we do,
helps.
Yeah, it's going to eventually look even better. I know.
Well, sure. When I get moved over here, make everything look just like on that place. What's it? Pennsylvania Avenue. You know, I'll make it look good.
I thought it was funny because our builder thought we were going to build our house where the foundation is for the shop. We were like, a lot of people really think that because we don't have the foundation for the house done yet. So, you know, that's the only thing to think.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's too close to the road.
It's more of a memorial to her family, keeping the two chimneys and that porch over there.
Yeah.
Because, you know, there's been basically 3 generations has lived in that house to some degree.
It was Grandma's house.
So, that her great-great-grandparents, isn't that right, is the ones that built it?
Well, it went from Pramila and Isham Alcorn. He was the first one that was here. And so it was originally the Alcorn place. And their daughter, Harriet, married John Wells, who had been trained to be a blacksmith. And a tanner. You know, that would be a stinky job. I read about that. They had to use
maybe the reason why we got so many gnats and flies.
Well, he didn't like that one. He wanted to be a farmer, and raise animals. I don't know if it was, I think it was cows that he had. So Harriet and John built a cabin. It's on the same ridge as we are, but it's behind where the corn crib is. So none of us have built in the same spot. This is kind of tradition for us not to build in the same exact area. But so we'd had 4 generations build on this ridge when we build. Kind of cool.
4. 1, 2.
Yeah, and then Grandma and Grandpa lived here too.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So,
and you had how many generations over there? 2 or 3?
Just Mom and Dad.
Well, there's another old house.
Oh yeah, yeah. Grandpa had a cabin where he was born. So, yeah. So they were over there. So we've had places all over, but because the farm used to be much bigger than it is right now. John Wells had a lot of acreage. I'm not even sure exactly how much to tell anybody, but it was at least 1,100 acres that I know of. And after John Wells and Harriet, John and Harriet had sons, but they had a daughter named Maud, and they had Susan, and they had Maggie. And Maud Gertrude is my great grandmother that lived in the house behind us. And they had a farmhand that he was orphaned as a child. Both of his parents died in 1863, and she from the Bellas, Dicey Bella, and that was Andrew Frank's mother. And they hired Andrew Frank as their farmhand, and Andrew and Maud kind of fell in love, and she jumped out of the second story while her brothers were in the front of the house. There was a little foyer. They were waiting, they weren't going to let her out. Well, she jumped out the window, the back. And she and Andrew ran off to Texas and eloped. And they stayed there for about 3 years with her sister, Susan Wells. So that's my favorite story of my great grandparents. I thought they were so cool. But after the 3 years, they came back here and they built that 2-story house a little bit later. But and they used 4 team of mules and $150 to build that house. It wasn't a lot.
Yeah. Well, in today's dollars.
Yeah.
Back then, it may have been quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
It was a 2-story, beautiful house.
Andrew was an entrepreneur, though. He was a businessman. He had goats and pigs and cows, and I don't know. They even had a sorghum molasses mill just down the hill from me. Slaughtered hogs. There's just a whole bunch of stuff I'll have to tell y'all about later, because I'm about to put him to sleep. But anyway, we will catch up.
Stories. They are really good stories about her family, but I've heard them
a lot. He's probably going to hear it a time or two again in his lifetime. He'll probably end up telling them. Because now it's time to meet my people.
There's a lot of family history here, which is awesome. I like that aspect of it. But, they've been here since, can prove, 1836. That's a long time. Not many farms out there anymore that's been in the family since that long. It's just, that's amazing.
Well, we know that John Wells' dad was in the American Revolution, and he got land grants, and that's how, when they migrated west, that's how he got that. And I don't know exactly how it all works, but I just know it's a direct lineage of that is from this farm.
All this talk making me sweat. I'm nervous, Rick, talking on the...
Oh my goodness. Well, we're gonna go throw Mike in the creek so he can cool off.
I don't know about throwing me.
We just came from the river. You could have got in the river.
Yeah.
Anyway, we will see you guys later, and we enjoyed talking to you and letting us share our stories and our history and
her story is her history.
And
my poop.
Thank you for joining us on our journey. Yeah, we gotta go.
Bye.